we might be seeing one of the biggest pump and dumps with the Persian card that's out there, along with the Houndoom, and the skyrocket of these prices have gone insane. I'm gonna break down why I think that is. I'm gonna break down in comparison to past Pokemon cards, which is why I think this is a pump and dump. You might want to look at some other cards that I think will probably gain value as why people are buying these right now. Now, the first part of this is the Persian. It is shot up with recent sales that have gone very astronomical, with some of them going up to $86, $85, $49, $50. And so how did this jump $35 within a day or a few days is what I'm asking here. And to be honest, when you look at the cost of the card and PSA grading, it's not really matching up that we're seeing here as far as sales and things like that. And so I don't know, like, if this is just somebody bought out all at once and then sold a bunch of them and was trying to hype the price up, and people are now correcting it, that aren't that individual, that person. But I have some theories, because it's not the only one that has been going up, and that is the Arbok. And that's because you can see on this one, most recent prices are $32, $20, $19, $31. While this was previously like a $5 card that just keeps going up. And while it is a very cool card, I have to say, I don't think it's going to hold value. Honestly, I can tell you guys that I think these are just long plays, as people are seeing that there were cards released this past year and we're having Team Rocket come up. So their way of trying to push themselves into the market and maybe do a flip on some PSA 10s or whatever else, maybe hold on to these, that they're going to use these cards to do that as a vehicle. Now, I like to look at history of which Pokemon have popularity, rarity, you know, are the cards hard to grade, things like that. If you look at the cards for Persian, even before this, we're talking about Rocket's Persian EX is $72 at the highest, $67 for Giovanni's Persian. And you can see there's just not much hold on these cards. These are cards that are even older, that have had time where they have much more scarcity and you would think would have more growth. If you're telling me a common card that is still able to be pulled out of a pack is the most valuable Persian card, I think that's a bubble. That's just like going to the Arbok, for example, and I'm going to show it right here. The top card for Arbok is not even a true Pokemon release card. It is the top series card, and then the one after that is the E-Series one, and then even then the Team Rocket one is the third one and is at $37. You're telling me that a first edition Arbok is $37, but the newest one is still being pumped up to the same price of that? That is crazy. Now, I will be fair, the only card that I've mentioned or discussed that I think does break that rule of like not just pumping it, and I think should actually be more than the Persian, and I'm not trying to pump it myself, I already own a couple copies of it, I'm fine. But if I was going to say which one I think would have a better longevity of history of tracking and actually having popularity, that is the Houndoom. And that's because if you look at the prices of a lot of the other cards, yes, they do hold value, and they are hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and over time have proven to be that. And obviously I do like it as well, and I bought it in Japanese because I just like the artwork, and that was really it. I wasn't trying to like make money off of this per se. And while we're seeing disparities amongst those, I was also noticing that a lot of trainer cards that pictured certain Pokemon were now going up in value, and I was like, we're seeing a lot of like, when are these going to align or make sense? And that is because what you're seeing is those cards from Shrouded Fable have gone up, right? And I was like, okay, well, what about the other cards that were already high? The Cassiopeia trainer card, the Pheasantipede, for example. The Cassiopeia has actually kind of leveled off or kind of started to go down a little bit, even though it has Sylveon in it. But the other card that I'm going to show you here, which is Penny, has Umbreon in it and an EV backpack, and bam, now that one's going up to 20 bucks and people are trying to pump that one up. So I think there's just people putting money in the market right now out of just speculation, just for the sake of like, if it goes to the moon, I'm there. And that's really it. A lot of people think these Pokemon are going to be in the Team Rocket set that's coming out, which I do understand. But I want to let you know and have a thought that Team Rocket will have some of the stuff we want. But if you have ever paid attention to Pokemon, they drag this out. it is going to have some contents of our nostalgia Team Rocket stuff. We know that, but it's going to be a little bit. It's not going to be the full set. And I think that Pokemon realized they messed up by putting so many bangers in the 151, but it was in such a low period of Pokemon, people weren't paying attention. Even myself, I was just like, oh yeah, cool, 151, that was it. But it was kind of what every nostalgia person wanted, and if that had been released in 2021, it would have went even more haywire than it did this time. And that's why you look at sets like the Prismatics, the 151s, Evolving Skies, they just have so much of what you want that Pokemon is like not trying to do that. I think if anything, they try and space it out so that way you have pools from every set that you're looking to get to, and it gets you to buy the packs. And what I'm going to tell you are these are the few Pokemon that I think I would look out for that will have plays to the nostalgia that I think will be key in the Team Rocket set, and Pokemon that haven't gotten much love that I think are going to get love during this set. Number one is going to be a Raichu, and that is because it's the first rarity card that was beyond the set number from the Dark Raichu era, and that is just, I love Raichu, my favorite Pokemon along with Snorlax, so I can tell you, it's been a couple sets since Raichu's had any kind of love, since Paldea evolved, the Sleepy Raichu, which I do love that, I've got several versions of it, but there is that. Then I would say, the other idea is Mimikyu. Mimikyu is this Pokemon that kind of reappears a good amount, and we just had Surging Sparks. And with that, I think the contrary to that would be a Mimikyu kind of driven set, or maybe that's something that we see, and that's because Jesse had that grudge against Pikachu. The next big one is a Mewtwo, Giovanni's Mewtwo, something like that. Mewtwo breaking out of that case in the GX version of it that is skyrocketed, which looks really awesome. And I'm sad I was not as in the hobby during that time, now that I look at it. An overlooked Pokemon that nobody wants to actually give credit, because we gave credit to Persian, but is a Meowth. I think we will see a Meowth in some form or fashion that people are going to want out of this set. What we're seeing recently in a lot of Pokemon is Pokemon that typically we're not giving a lot of love, like the Arbok and stuff, are now getting it. Like, that's kind of cool artwork, because we're seeing like this renaissance of art on these cards. This one I'm not soaked on, but I think that they could play it kind of like how they did the Drowsy in the most recent one, or something like that, where it is the Wobbuffet. And that's because I'm not a fan of Wobbuffet, but it was like, it's the Team Rocket Wobbuffet. I think we'll see something like that in there. And then my last two, because they are in the original Pokemon set or series, were Lickitung and Victory Bell. Victory Bell does not get any love. It's going to be a card, I think, if it comes out, will be like, oh, cool, nostalgia, but it's not going to be the top tier card. Like, if you look at Surging Sparks, the Exeggutor, like, that was like, oh my god, crazy, and really overpowered for playing, but I do believe we'll see something like that. Lickitung is going to be interesting because we had that most recent card come out, but like the Victory Bell, I think will be a possible chance with this. But let me know what cards you guys think are going to be on the come up as this Team Rocket set's coming out. I'd love to hear what you guys think.